Kiddies, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be doing another adaptation arena, this time covering Jax. If anyone doesn't know what the series is all about or hasn't seen the previous videos, this is the series where I take 3 different adaptations of a character and go through 5 sections, and for each section I'll compare the 3 of them to see which one is most accurate of that section, and then at the end we gather up all the points and see who got the most points, and they are the most accurate version of the character. This time we'll be doing it with the Jax adaptations of Annihilation, Legacy, and 2021. For some reason I got a lot of flack in my last video for not including Annihilation Sonya in my Sonya adaptation arena, which is kind of weird. Like, I've only ever included 3 different versions of the character, and it's always been like 1995, Legacy, 2021, but for some reason people got like super mad at me, like insulting me directly because I didn't include Annihilation Sonya. Just strange. But for all those Annihilation fans, you're getting your Annihilation fix here because I have Jax from Annihilation. But now people are just going to go in the comments and insult me for not including 1995 Jax, who was in like 2 scenes. I wouldn't put it past some of you. But anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Starting off with Annihilation, this version of Jax is pretty basic Jax. You got the black pants, you got the metal arms, which are sleeves in this version instead of the full replacements, and he also has a nice little sleeveless jacket, which I believe inspired the look he had in Mortal Kombat X, which is nice. That gives it like an extra flair, an extra point, I guess, to it. So yeah, that's nice, but you know, Jax has never been the most like visually striking character other than his arms, so pretty basic design. And for Legacy, he's just like in a SWAT uniform. So yeah, not great, obviously. He doesn't even have metal arms because he gets his arms blown off like at the end of the episode that he's in and then never appears again. Because for some reason he wasn't in season 2. Don't know why they had him in season 1, setting him up for the tournament and all that, just for him not to be in the second season, but and as for 2021 Jax, another pretty simple look. You got the metal arms, you got no sleeveless jacket this time, just completely shirtless, and the black pants. So yeah, I think, I don't know, it's tough between 2021 and Annihilation because Jax's main look throughout the series has been his 2021 look, just completely no shirt or anything, just the metal arms and the black pants, and that's pretty much it. And obviously, Annihilation has the Mortal Kombat X influence, which I guess is nice, but at the same time, if you look at the overall series, it's not as accurate, I'd say, as 2021. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I think it really just comes down to the arms specifically, like, which one looks more like, or I guess, like, at least resembles Jax's arms in the games more, because neither of them really look exactly like the classic Jax arms or whatever. But if you want to go with just which one kind of resembles the standard Jax arms a bit more, I think you have to go with Annihilation, because 2021, those arms, like, has a lot of weird designs. They're super mechanical. It almost looks like they're like constantly moving with like parts shifting and stuff like that, which, you know, it's a cool look and I definitely like it. But we're not going for what's cool. We're going for what's accurate, and I think Annihilation is just a bit more accurate. Plus, later in the movie, he takes off the sleeveless jacket anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, I think I have to give the point to Annihilation here. Moveset. Which version of Jax has the most moves taken from the video game? And starting with Annihilation, the only thing he really does that resembles what he does in the game, besides just like punching people, which is just standard, he does the ground pound at the very end of the movie. He does the ground pound to Mataro. It makes like the earth shake and wobble, which I guess is pretty cool. I mean, the effect looks terrible, but in concept, pretty cool, but that's about it. Legacy, once again, doesn't really have much to show here. Like, he punches Kano so hard that his eyeball pops out, which, you know, is probably something he could do in the games, but it's not like his signature move or anything. It's not his fatality, so yeah. And as for 2021, some people say he does the gotcha move on Reiko when he grabs him, punches him twice, but I don't think so. I don't believe that. No. Like, the main part of the gotcha move is the fact that he grabs him, lifts him up. In 2021, he just grabs him while Reiko is like on his knees. That's like the opposite. He's supposed to lift him up. Like, that's the whole thing with gotcha. It's gotcha lifts you up. Like, I have you in my hand, and you're lifted off the ground. Like, I have you, and my hand is the only thing that's like holding you up right now. And like, yeah, technically he still has him by just grabbing him at all, but it's just not the same, alright guys? But the main thing, of course, is what? Bam! The head clap, which is, of course, his fatality from Mortal Kombat 2 and one of his signature and most iconic fatalities. And, you know, it is really tough. I think this one's even closer than the last one between 2021 and Annihilation. It's just neck and neck here. You have the ground pound, which I think it's still a really iconic move, but you have the head clap, which is really cool as well. It's so close here. It's really a toss-up. You know what? Fatalities are cooler. I'll give it to 2021 here. Ooh, which version of Jax is the most well cast? I actually think the answer here is pretty obvious. Firstly, from Annihilation, we have Lynn Williams, who was a part of the American Gladiator show, which is like some sort of competition for like strength, conditioning, agility, and all that stuff. I don't know if it's like American Warrior, or it's just like a bunch of people lifting weights or stuff. I don't know. I haven't seen the show. I just like looked it up on Wikipedia, and like that's basically the description it gave me. So, you know, it's nice that he's had like some sort of competitive sport or show or whatever, but you know, it's obviously not an equivalent to like real martial arts training, which I don't think he has, especially by the way he throws punches. But yeah, it is what it is. He's very physically fit, which is nice. He's also black, which is good. Of course, I'm not going to make a Jax that's not black because I don't know, I feel like that's just kind of an important part of his character, and would also just be really strange in general to make a black character not black. And then we have Legacy, which I'm going to say right now gets the win. He's played by Michael Jai White, alright? He's not only a good actor, you know, he played Spawn, but also, he's like a super famous martial artist guy. Like, he's like up there in the ranks of like Mike Tyson, alright? Jackie Chan, like Chuck Norris. He's in conversations with people like this as like best combat sports or athletes, combat athletes of all time, all right? Or maybe not of all time, but he's in that like same conversation, all right? And so, you gotta give it to Legacy here. Like, this is probably Legacy's like most proud accomplishment, is having Michael Jai White as Jax. Probably the best casting for Jax we're ever gonna get. And so it's kind of unfair for the other two, but you know, it is what it is. And we have 2021 Jax, who's played by Mehcad Brooks. He played Jimmy Olsen in Supergirl, which I'm not seeing the correlation there between Jimmy Olsen and Jax, but you know, the fact that he can play both, I guess, is a good thing. But yeah, he's physically fit, muscular, of course, but you know, that's pretty much it. He doesn't have any martial arts training or anything, which is why his fight scenes are the worst to watch, because so many cuts. That Reiko fight, just not it. But yeah, obviously Legacy gets the point here, and now we have each one of these different adaptations getting 1 point, with 1 point going to Annihilation, 1 point going to Legacy, and 1 point going to 2021. We have 2 more sections. Whoever wins these next 2 sections will win. If one person wins one section, another person wins another, then that means there's a tie, and we have to have a tiebreaker, which will be interesting. Alright, personality. This one's interesting because Jax doesn't exactly have the most extreme personality or anything. Like, he definitely has one. Like, he's not just like a stale, nothing character, but he's not like the most extreme. So I want to know if that like makes it so that these 3 different adaptations are more or less similar to each other. Let's see. Annihilation Jax is a pretty standard 90s black comic relief character, just in the way he talks and things he says. Like, he's supposed to be funny. Not really, though. Like, I feel like Annihilation would be more of a fun movie to watch if he was funny. Like, it's weird. When the movie isn't trying to be funny, it is funny, but when it is, it's not. So, Huh, that's interesting. But yeah, I guess the best way to describe this version of Jax is he feels like Johnny Cage if Johnny Cage was black. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say. I mean, like, Johnny Cage in this movie died, so I guess they needed someone to be the replacement comic relief. And I don't think Jax was better. I think he was worse than Johnny Cage as comic relief. I think they just shouldn't kill Johnny Cage. Like, they didn't have to do that. Like, they're the ones that shot themselves in the foot, alright? And for Legacy, we have kind of the opposite thing going on, where instead of being, like, super funny, super comic relief, we have a super serious version of Jax, which I think is pretty cool, but Jax in the games has never been, like, the super serious character. Like I say, Sonya is probably more serious than him. Like, he definitely makes jokes. He definitely has, like, his sarcastic comments sometimes. But, you know, he's not like Annihilation Jax. He's not like spewing jokes every 10 seconds. But he's also not like the super serious character that he is in Legacy. So I don't think Legacy quite gets it on the mark either. 2021, I think, is a nice mix of both. Like, he's serious, but also he does have those sarcastic comments, those funny comments that I was talking about earlier. Like, he's not on either ends of the spectrum. Like, if I had to say, he leans probably more towards comedy than being super serious, but I think it's a better mix of the two than, like, just having one extreme. So I do think I'm going to give the point to 2021 Jax. Does it make him a more interesting character? Probably not. I mean, having a super funny character and having a super serious character are probably going to be more interesting than having just a character that just, I don't know, just going through the motions, just normal person. So, yeah, it is what it is, but, like, we're not grading this based on who is the most interesting person, who would you want to talk to in real life. No, we're basing this off of how accurate it is, and I believe that 2021 Jax is the most accurate to Jax's actual personality. Story. Now, none of these versions of Jax really have a super accurate story, but I don't know. We'll see who's the most accurate. Annihilation Jax has the story of being in this, like, facility because he just got his arms, like, plastered onto him, his metal sleeve arms instead of the replacement arms, which we'll talk about a bit more with the other two. But, you know, this version of Jax takes more from the original timeline version of Jax, where they were sleeves, they weren't replacements, so that's a good thing. He escapes the facility with Sonya after fighting Cyrax. They go off into the desert. He fights a CGI monstrosity. Then he, like, meets up with Jade and, like, Liu Kang and all that stuff. And then he's just kind of along for the ride for the rest of the movie. So, yeah. This movie is kind of a mixture between Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. A little bit, but it's mostly just, like, random stuff happening. So, yeah, I guess it's alright? I don't know. I don't know with this movie. Legacy definitely, especially Season 1, gets the short end of the stick here just because it takes place before Mortal Kombat, the first tournament, and this whole first season, the point of it is to set up these characters before the first tournament, so the story, obviously, has no influence on whatever happens there. So, it is not really accurate to anything. I mean, it could have been accurate to Special Forces, like, I don't think that would have been a good route to go down. So it doesn't do that, and instead just has a completely original story, which is fine, but, like, not for our purposes here. Like, we're trying to figure out what's the most accurate. Like, having this completely original story isn't really the most accurate, but also not only that, this episode, or these episodes, because there was like two, do at the same time, even if they're not connected to what happened in the first tournament, it does influence, like, this version of Jax's future and makes it so it would have been different from the original Jax's future. I don't know if I'm making sense right now. But the point is that by the end of the series, or by the end of these episodes, his arms do get blown off, which means he would have had his arms removed before the first tournament, which is not accurate to either timeline, the original or the NRS timeline, or, I mean, he's not really part of the newest timeline, so we don't even have to talk about that. But, yeah, so it would have been different either way. That's what I'm trying to say. And the same deal is for 2021 as well. He gets his arms frozen, taken off before the event of the first tournament, and the whole story happens before the first tournament, and you have the small little weak arms and then the Arcana stuff, and, you know, fighting Reiko and all that. Not very accurate at all. So I think here you have to give Annihilation the point, just because, like, the other two just aren't accurate at all. Like, at least Annihilation somewhat follows, like, the basic storyline. Like, if you look at, like, the Mortal Kombat Jax timeline, and then, like, you squint your eyes really hard, maybe, you know, like, cross-eyed or something like that, you could probably see how it sort of resembles it. But for the other two, it's just, like, completely random offshoot stuff, so I don't really think it's comparable. So yeah, Annihilation gets the point, which means we have a tie between 2021 and Annihilation. So Legacy, goodbye. You are no longer. And now we will compare the casting section, which is the section that Legacy won, and see who was better cast between 2021 Jax and Annihilation Jax. So who was better cast in the role of Jax? Lynn Williams or Mehcad Brooks? Now, if you look at this from a purely acting standpoint, Mehcad Brooks, no offense to Lynn Williams, but Mehcad Brooks definitely has the better resume and better acting performances, roles, all that stuff. So if you want to look at it from that lens, then Mehcad Brooks definitely wins. But if you look at it from a more outside perspective, like outside of acting, then I think Lynn Williams would definitely take it, because, you know, he has the background in the whole competition, American Gladiator stuff, and just, you know, that competition aspect. You know, you got the Mortal Kombat tournament, which is like a competition, and just, I don't know, it feels more Jax-like, I guess. Like, I could go into, like, super specifics here and go by, okay, who is exactly Jax's height, weights, age, stuff like that. I don't really feel like doing that, though. So, I mean, you know, you got basically a bodybuilder who is on this, like, competition show. You know, Jax has always been known as, like, a super fit, super strong guy, and I believe the first actor who ever played him was also a bodybuilder. So, you know, that's a huge part of his character, so I could definitely see the lens where you would go with Lynn Williams. But then on the other end, like, you need a good actor to play the role of Jax. Mehcad Brooks is a very, very good actor. I mean, not like Leonardo DiCaprio or anything. I don't know why I said really, really good actor. Like, he's a good actor. He's okay. But, like, I think I was just comparing him to Lynn Williams. Like, if we're being realistic here, compared to Lynn Williams, he's a much, much better actor. But, you know, if you look at it from an acting perspective, Mehcad Brooks definitely could take it as well. But I think Lynn Williams takes it for me, just because, like, specifically the casting section is definitely more about, like, stuff outside of acting, and that's kind of what I hold more importance, which I know is kind of weird for the casting section, but, like, just the more external factors are, like, stuff you've done, your experience with certain things, of course, your height, weight, I mean, not really weight, but, like, age, stuff like that. That stuff is more important than, like, stuff you've done in the past with acting, especially since if you look at, like, the past stuff he's done, like, Jimmy Olsen doesn't really make sense with Jax. So for Mehcad Brooks, like, you know, he's physically fit and, you know, he's a better actor, but I gotta go with, if we were talking purely that external stuff that I was talking about, I think you gotta go with Lynn Williams, which means Annihilation wins 3-2 if you compare it with Mortal Kombat 2021. If Legacy comes into a mix, then it's just a complete tie. So yeah, that's crazy. And, you know, debatably, Annihilation could win the moveset section because of the ground pound compared to the head clap. So you could argue, if we're comparing it purely between 2021 and Annihilation, that Annihilation wins 4 sections to 1 compared to 2021. Two movies themselves are leagues apart, okay? 2021, I don't care what anyone says, 2021 is 1,000 times the movie that Annihilation is. I don't care what anybody says, alright? Annihilation trash, terrible. 2021, pretty good, decent, but a huge gap there. So it's kind of crazy to think that Jax from Annihilation would win anything really. But, you know, it's more about accuracy and not about who's a better character, because if there's who's a better character, then 2021 would obviously win. But in terms of just accuracy alone to the original source material, I think Annihilation takes it. And then you have Legacy, which I'm not going to like sit here and bash Legacy like I have a lot of the times, because I think this version of Jax is actually really, really good. But in terms of accuracy, it's not really that great for him. I think Michael Jai White definitely does carry this version of the character, because not only is he a good actor, but, you know, just the martial arts background and like the concept of Michael Jai White as Jax kind of saves it a bit. But if we're looking at purely objectively, especially if you look at it from an accuracy perspective, the least accurate version of Jax. Just, it is what it is. But yeah, you guys let me know which character you want to see me do this with next. Actually, I don't know if I can do many more of these, because there's not many more characters that have been in 3 different live-action interpretations of Mortal Kombat, because, you know, you have Kano, which I know is a character I'm probably going to do, because you have 1995, Legacy, and 2021, so that would be fairly easy to do. But other than that, what other characters have been in 3 different live-action Mortal Kombat movies? I don't think there's any other characters. I don't know, you guys are going to have to let me know. Maybe I'm forgetting someone. But yeah, I mean, either I'm going to have to just stop doing the series until the next Mortal Kombat or the next live-action Mortal Kombat movie comes out, because there's a bunch of like animated stuff nowadays. But for live action, who knows when that movie's coming out, the Mortal Kombat 2021 sequel. So yeah, I would have to wait until that movie comes out for the next one. Or I could just, like, I guess, broaden my field of what I consider live action Mortal Kombat media. Like, I could include Conquest, I could include Rebirth if I really wanted to. I could have like a Reptile episode of Adaptation Arena where I compare Reptile from 1995, then Rebirth, and then the other one, 2021. I don't know if I really want to do that, because Rebirth, it's literally a short film, and like that's like Legacy already like gets the short end of the stick for just having like singular or a couple episodes worth of these characters. And so I feel like it would be even more unfair if I included Rebirth, which some of those characters were literally included like for 2 minutes. And that doesn't seem fair. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the series after Kano. Yeah, you guys are going to have to let me know. Maybe I'm forgetting someone. But I think Kano's the last character I can really do for now, until another Mortal Kombat live action movie comes out. And probably going to take like a year or two for that to happen. So, yeah. One less series for me to do on this channel, which kind of sucks because I'm kind of running out of ideas for Mortal Kombat videos. Like, I know Mortal Kombat 1 just came out, and I thought that more video ideas would come from that, but just haven't. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep doing the costume rankings. Like, those I can do all day because all the characters have costumes. But, yeah, I'm going to have to think of new series to do. I definitely do want to continue doing that Mortal Kombat 1 series, like how Mortal Kombat 1 blank this character. So, you know, I wanted to do how Mortal Kombat 1 neglected Kitana, how it redeemed Sindel, because I've obviously already done how it ruined Bi-Han, which has become like my most popular video by far, like 100,000 views. 50K, I should have just said 50K, but 50,000 views, basically, at this point, which is crazy. And then you have the Reptile video, which did pretty well as well. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking to continue that series, but yeah, we'll see what happens going forward with the channel. Just if I can come up with more ideas. But yeah, with that being said, yeah, if there's any other characters that I could possibly do, you guys let me know. But yeah, make sure to check out the links in the description, including my merch store, my podcast I'm working on, Mortal Kombat Retold, also my Twitter and my Instagram. Make sure to give this video a like, make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and with that being said, that's it for this video, my fellow oddities. I'll see you next time.